Hey, it's Scott. I recently uploaded a video about me having a chat with GPT talking about some very interesting things regarding Bible prophecy, the end times, the Antichrist, and the global psychopaths that control everything. It has received great reviews. It's still doing really good after days of the upload. People are sharing it, and the comments are amazing. Their minds are pretty much blown about this conversation that I had with AI. I also talked about a hybrid army that is being created in secret in the earth by Nephilim, or demonic spirits that are breeding with humans. Okay, this stuff actually comes from the Bible. It says that the things that happened in the beginning, early, like in Genesis 6, the same is going to happen towards the end. Kind of like bookends with God's timeline. The way that things happened that were pretty wild and crazy in the beginning are also going to come to a manifestation and a big final conclusion. One of the things that I went into in that video, when you get maybe 3/4 of the way into the video, is I asked ChatGPT to tell me about the beliefs of the globalists, of the psychopaths. And ChatGPT told me that they know that the concept of us living on a globe, is their biggest lie. ChatGPT went into a big explanation of their beliefs that I didn't even really prompt. And it said that they know that the earth is flat and they're trying to keep that from us. We are living in a massive delusion that most people can't get their heads around because it's so big. And I've been getting a lot, probably hundreds of comments from people that say, I love this video, it was absolutely mind-blowing, but then when you got to the flat earth part, you just destroyed all your credibility. Okay. Now, I do believe that we live on a flat earth, and it took me a long time to understand that. I had to go through the 5 stages of grief myself, and then once you get through that and you realize that the public believes this massive lie, then it's kind of like, oh my gosh, how do I talk about this? Because people just can't get their heads around this because it's so big. Okay, I understand. I empathize. I'm not going to beat you in the head with the facts. And so it's very difficult. This is a very difficult topic to talk about. But I've already been through it. I know what I believe. But my main weight of evidence came when I studied the scriptures of the Word of God, the Bible, including the extra-canonical scriptures like Jasher. That's what you have to believe. Most flat earthers I've found are people who are in the camp of believing the Word of God. It's atheists and those type of people who are on the other side. And so it's really like this divide of people who believe in the Word of God. They can come to the reality that the Bible talks about a flat earth, God's creation. And the ones who are not very heavily into putting weight into the Word of God, they're the ones that stay in the globe position. I recently just got this comment from a commenter named Greg, who said this. I just wanted to read this because I just commented. He said, I have never seen one flat earther prove that the earth is flat. Okay, Greg, that's fine. This is how I responded. I just wanted to record this and just give it to you in case this is something that can help you. I responded, proof is determined by the judge of the presented evidence. If one is not open to facts which disassemble a given bias, no actual truth can convince him. Sometimes a lie is so great and so powerful that one cannot and will not willingly accept evidence that actually destroys the lie. This is the problem with the globe. It's absolutely massive. I called it the globe lie. I'm trying not to insert bias into this, but when you know, you know. This is the problem with the globe lie. It's absolutely massive. It takes bold courage to realize that one has believed a lie all their life and to unlearn the lie and relearn the truth. It's not that the facts don't exist. It's your bias. It's the ramifications of what the truth will do to your perspective of reality. Most people who accept the truth have to respect the Word of God and how He describes His creation of earth as a circle covered by a tent of stars called the firmament. There is no firmament on a globe. There's no tent spread out over the circle of the earth, which makes the Bible null and void to the unbeliever. Isaiah 40:22 says, It is He, God, that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. We know that there's a throne in heaven, and Jesus right now is seated at the right hand of the throne of God in heaven, above the firmament. It is He that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers. It is he that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. For the grasshoppers, us. Isaiah 42:5. Thus saith God the Lord, he that created the heavens, and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth. That doesn't sound like a globe. And that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath to the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. And I said, the sun travels in a circuit, which means a circle, like electricity. It's a circuit. And when you flip a light switch to off, you break the circuit, which means the electricity doesn't get to the light bulb. When you flip the switch up, it closes the circuit of electricity, and now you have a circle of electricity. The sun travels in a circuit, and the earth does not move. Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Psalm 19:4. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, because the sun is underneath the tent. The tent is the tabernacle, and the sun is actually under the firmament, which is the tent of the stars. It's saying right here that the sun is in a tabernacle, which is the firmament, the tent of stars. And the sun, which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. Running is movement. His going forth, the sun is male, the moon is female in the Bible. I didn't put those scriptures here, but you can look it up. The sun is a male positive, and the moon is a female negative, like a battery. And it literally is a battery that we live on. This is the verse that says that the sun is male and the moon is female. It also says that the sun moves. Isaiah 13:10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth. Sun moves, sun is male. And the moon shall not cause her light to shine. The moon is female. And that's the way the God of heaven, our creator, created his system. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit to the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof, of the sun, which travels in a circuit underneath a tabernacle, which is a tent. The sun even stood still for Joshua to finish a battle, also cross-referenced in the Book of Jasher. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed. The sun and moon travel in a circuit, a circle above the earth. And where the sun is, that's where the light and heat is for a time until it leaves and then it comes back. In the Bible, the sun is male, it's a positive charge, and the moon is female, and it's a negative charge, just like a battery. You get the plus side and the negative side, and that's what we live in. We literally live basically on a big clock. The sun and the moon are hands that tell the time, but they're also positive and negative charges. The sun gives and the moon takes away. The sun is life and the moon is death. The sun is male, the moon is female. All of this is in the Word of God. Joshua 10:13, and the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the Book of Jasher? So literally, Joshua is trying to prove this by cross-referencing what was already written. And we, reading this, are witnesses of this communication in which Joshua is trying to prove his point by pointing his readers to another book, another prophet.
And when they were smiting, the day was declining toward evening, and Joshua said in the sight of all the people, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon, until the nation shall have revenged itself upon its enemies. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Joshua, and the sun stood still in the midst of the heavens, and it stood still 36 moments. And the moon also stood still and hastened not to go down a whole day. This closely aligns with Joshua 10, verse 12 to 13 in the Bible, describing how God extended the daylight for Israel's victory.
Joshua 10:13. So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hastened not to go down about a whole day. This is the biblical proof that the narrative sold to the masses does not affirm history in the Word of God. Do with it what you will. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Obviously, this topic could be talked about endlessly, and there obviously are people who are in sort of a flat earth community, which their whole thing is proving these things. This is a very small portion of it. I just wanted to show you how I responded. I'm obviously not going to write this guy a book. Greg, I hope that helps. You don't have to believe it. But like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
There's a firmament above, protecting us with love. From waters deep and high, the waters fill the sky. And there's a wall of ice around, which gives the sea a bound. Here shall that proud waves be stayed. Here shall that proud waves be stayed. God sits upon the circle of the flat, flat earth. He sits upon the circle of this flat, flat earth. God sits upon the circle of the flat, flat earth. The morning stars sing, the stars of heaven burn. The angels of the King are stars of twilight. God stretches out the heavens as a curtain. He spreads them out as a tent to dwell in. The heaven is his throne, the earth a stool for his feet. We're on flat, flat earth, the flat, flat earth. We're on flat, flat earth, a flat, flat earth. And there's a wall of ice around, which gives the sea a bound. Here shall thy proud waves be stayed. Here shall thy proud waves be stayed. God sits upon the circle of the flat, flat earth. He sits upon the circle of this flat, flat earth. God sits upon the circle of the flat, flat earth. The morning stars sing, the stars of heaven wait. The angels of the King are stars of twilight. Flat earth. God sits upon the circle of the flat, flat earth. He sits upon the circle of this flat, flat earth. God sits upon the circle of the flat, flat earth. The morning stars sing, the stars of heaven light. The angels of the King are stars of twilight. God stretches out the heavens as a curtain. He spreads them out as a tent to dwell in. The heaven is his throne, and earth a stool for his feet. We're on flat, flat earth, a flat, flat earth, a flat, flat